Hi everybody, how's it going? Great to see you here. My name is Pete Smith. I'm with the Office of Student Recruitment here on Grenfell campus. We got a really busy day today, so we're going to get started right now. One little thing, we had a slight plumbing snafu early this morning, so our lunch today is not going to be down in the Grove. It's going to be in the AS Extension Atrium, where you guys registered this morning. You can sit on the ledges, and we're going to direct you to an area we call the Airport Lounge. You might duck by today on your campus tour, and you can eat your lunch there. We apologize for the snafu, but we kind of roll with the punches here at Grenfell. So before we get started, I'd like to call Dr. Jim Duffy up. Jim is the Associate Vice President Academic of Grenfell campus to bring warm welcomes on behalf of Grenfell campus. So, Jim?
Thanks, Pete. Hi. It is my pleasure to welcome you to Grenfell campus. This institution is a gem. I don't think people in Newfoundland quite appreciate how fabulous Grenfell is. You're going to find out about that today when you hear about a ton of interesting things from a variety of people. I hope you will be excited by things, and I hope you will get a chance to appreciate Grenfell during the day. So have fun, enjoy, and best of luck. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. So honestly, it's great to see so many people here. When we put this out there, we said, man, it'd be awesome if we got about 50 people, and we almost have close on 80. So it's fantastic that you guys have an interest in Grenfell campus, and you're here to explore Grenfell. Obviously, Grenfell campus is part of the Memorial University family. We're one of 4 campuses of Memorial University. So, I mean, today is about you guys, really. So it's an opportunity for you guys to explore Grenfell, explore our facilities, explore our academic programs, ask any questions. We're going to have representatives from programs here to do a little speed dating session with us. And you'll get an overview of academic programs as well as facilities. But I mean, really guys, don't be shy today. If you have questions, we're going to have students come up after, current students, to talk about their experience at Grenfell. Then we're going to open up the floor for questions. If you're too shy asking it in this setting, we're going to be floating around throughout the day. So we'll be eating lunch with you folks and whatnot. So by all means, don't be shy, ask away. So let's get started. So, program updates. How that's going to work is kind of like Grenfell campus speed dating. Presenters, you're going to be on a timer, and you have 2 minutes to present your program. And if you run over 2 minutes, I ding the bell, and you get publicly humiliated for your tardiness. All right? So we're on a really tight timeline today, so we're going to go as quick as possible. So the first presenter I will call up, he actually just came in, and I actually played soccer with him back in the day, and it's a good thing he's a doctor of English, because he's never going to make it in the European soccer leagues. So Dr. Tony Fabianchi. Yeah. Well, come on up. Everybody can see you. So we'll get people to come up as I call your name. So let me get my timer here, and
It's going to be more like 30 seconds.
Hey, 2 minutes.
I'm going to sit down.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
You go right ahead.
Well, I didn't even know that I was doing this until about a minute ago, so I have to rack my brain about what I'm going to say. So I'm trying to promote, I guess, the English program at Grenfell. Who's taking English right now? Well, you guys all are taking English, I presume. All right, can I see a show of hands? Who's taking English now? Okay. Well, English at Grenfell, you start off taking 2 courses, English 1000 and English 1001. And English 1000 is the short story and the novel and also some essays, as well as a grammar section. Who has taken grammar here in school before? Anybody taking grammar? Some of the older types. So grammar, even though it's maybe a boring area, I think it's a useful one for you guys to develop your writing skills. Building a house, you don't start at the top, but you start at the foundation with the basics. So you have an essay section as well. We study essays, we study short stories, and 1 single novel in English 1000. 1001 moves to poetry and 1 Shakespearean play and then a modern play. In my case, I do a film instead of a modern play, and over the years I've done countless different ones, from science fiction to sort of contemporary horror, things like that. I think English is useful for you guys, even if you don't go on in English in grad school. If you want to go into journalism, for example, even if you apply for a job somewhere, how do you apply for a job? You have to write a letter, a cover letter. And sometimes people judge you by the way you write, even though you may be applying for an engineering position. It's still useful to be able to express yourself both verbally and in writing properly. And I think that's one of the things that we try to teach you. Critical thinking, being able to present your ideas coherently, that's what we do in English. So I think that's essentially what our program is all about.
And that's
and
2
for
minutes.
Zero preparation, I managed to talk for 2 minutes somehow.
That's how we roll out of Grenfell, right off the cuff sometimes, eh? Next speaker we have, I graduated from this program, first class of this program back in 2000. So I'm dating myself many, many moons ago. So Mr. Stephen, what's your name here, Stephen? Stephen Decker, by all means, come on up.
So hello everyone, welcome to Grenfell, and greetings on behalf of Dr. Gabrielis Abode. Gabrielis, the chair of environmental studies. She couldn't be here today, so she asked me to fill in, whoever I am. Steve Decker. So I'm going to continue on Tony's construction theme now. So imagine for a moment if you're a carpenter, and your task for today is to join together 2 pieces of 2x4. Right? So you go to your workshop, open up your toolbox. What tools do you need to do that? Pick up your hammer, 4 or 5 nails, you're good to go. Right? Fairly simple construction project, not too complicated. But imagine for a moment that you're a carpenter, and your job for today is to build a house. Go to your workshop, you need a bigger toolbox, right? Much greater diversity of tools, much wider diversity of skill sets, of course, right, to be able to build a house, much more complex. The challenges that we face today, the resource and environmental management challenges that we face today, are they more like joining 2 pieces of 2x4 together, or are they more like building a house? What would you say? House. Yes, they're complex, right? They're multifaceted, so many different value sets, so many different things that need to be brought in. The environmental studies degree is an interdisciplinary program, which means our students take courses from a variety of different disciplines. So our students do courses in environmental policy, ecological economics, environmental studies, of course, decision making, geography, geographical information systems, and we even do outdoor environmental pursuits courses where we do canoeing, kayaking, expedition hiking, avalanche safety, cross-country skiing, all that stuff. So the skill set, the toolbox that our students have when they finish our degree in environmental studies is a pretty broad toolbox. You bring that toolbox into the field where you try to tackle these complex houses, these resource and environmental management challenges. You've got the tools in your back pocket to be able to do that. The interdisciplinary perspective, the environmental studies lens, has served me quite well. I graduated from environmental studies years after Pete did, like 2004, a lot younger than Pete.
Don't say that.
Yeah. He's got the timer, I should be nice to him. But it served me very well. You know, my work in Western Europe, the work with my grad students, that interdisciplinary perspective allows us to sit at the table, have an understanding of the natural science side of decision making and the importance of science and also social science. So anyway, environmental studies.
2 minutes, right on the dot. Excellent, this is great. Next we'll call up the man with all the money from the business program, Dr. Jose Lamb.
Thank you.
No problem, sir.
Just to follow up on the threads, some of my colleagues here in business, we look at business as a professional program, and so we help our students develop the skills that are necessary to compete in the job market. And so most of the skills are very important these days: innovation skills, critical skills, analytical skills, interpersonal skills, communication skills, and so on. And in fact, if you're interested, then this afternoon in the activity we'll do some teamwork skill exercise. However, just to add a little bit more about the program, we do offer kind of a very wide range of courses from marketing, accounting, finance, to entrepreneurship, and what else? We offer a lot of experiential courses. The program we just started, it's a new program that we started about a year and a half ago. And the main focus of this program is on experiential learning. So we do have a lot of practical courses, workplace skills, and we have, in fact, some of my students in the social entrepreneurship course, we we went to St. Anthony last week, and they help out with a workshop there too. And I have students from enterprise development. They're all working with businesses in town or somewhere else in the province, helping these businesses, small and medium-sized businesses, with their issues and problems as well. So we do. I mean, one of the advantages of Grenfell, we have a lot of small class sizes. There's a better connection with the professors, and we do really work individually a lot with our students. In addition, a lot of our students they're very engaged, and that's something we encourage them. They are part of Actus, which is a social enterprise volunteer group that help out with activities in the community.
I'm surprised you heard that. Next we have one of the older programs of its kind in Atlantic Canada and an international man of history, Mr. Jerry Etienne from the theater program. Thank you.
2 minutes, ready?
2 minutes. Starting now, 2 minutes.
Good. It's a 4-year program. We educate and train students in history, theater, and practice of the theater arts. We train actors in acting technique, voice, speech, text analysis, movement, clown, scene study, and audition technique. We train technical students in the area of set construction, lighting, sound, costumes, props, stage management, drafting. We develop practical production experience. Acting and tech students are the cast and crew of all of our productions. From each year, from second year onward, we develop communication skills, we develop confidence, we provide a safe atmosphere in which young artists can explore, make mistakes, express themselves. We got 3 full-time acting faculty, we got 2 full-time technical theater production faculty, and working professionals who teach 3 master classes in each stream each year. And we've got the support of 5 full-time technical staff who are also professionals in the business. In your 4 years, you're going to learn you're going to study theater history, art history, dramatic literature. You're going to take 10 acting or tech classes. You're going to be in 6 productions if you're an actor, 12 productions if you're in tech. You're going to take 6 selectives. You're going to study directing and design. You're going to take complete creative control of a production in directed studies. You're going to travel to Harlow for 8 weeks and experience the best theater in the world and at the Stratford Festival. And you're going to take master classes from acting and technical people who work on the West End in London. They're the best in the world. You're going to see galleries and museums and take theater tours and other cultural excursions. You're going to see Europe. Our graduates work. People that tell you if you graduate with a fine arts degree you don't work, they're lying to you. They work at every professional theater company in Newfoundland. They work at the Stratford Festival, the Shaw Festival, Cirque du Soleil, Disney, various theaters in Toronto and across Canada. They work in film, they work in music, they work in television. Susan Kent is on this hour's 22 Minutes. She was from here. Dee Gilbert Rawlings is a graduate of ours that's on your 3rd season at the Stratford Festival. We have a 2nd-year student that did his 1st season at the Stratford Festival. 2nd-year student. Thank you very much. Bye.
Jerry can actually recite Dante's The Divine Comedy. Next we have, I served on the Grenfell campus community garden with this fine individual, and all-around campus nice guy, Dr. Edwin Bazina.
Good morning, and welcome you all to the Grenfell campus. I'm the Chair of Historical Studies, and in 2 minutes I'm going to talk to you about the program, and then I'm going to talk to you what to do with the history degree. So in the program of Historical Studies, we first introduce students to the discipline of history, working with primary documents like memoirs and autobiographies and so on. And then you take a number of courses in Western history, women's history, medieval history, specialized courses on the Renaissance, on the First World War. And then there's courses in other disciplines. There's a component of interdisciplinarity in the program, courses in anthropology, folklore, and so on, sociology. And then in the 4th year, you work on a major essay of a topic of your choice, where you really get into a topic and work with it very intricately. We try to develop important skills that you can take the world of work, and the other course is critical reading, writing, verbal communication, forming an argument. And then the second thing I want to talk about is what to do with the history degree. You can be a wrestler, for example. No, just kidding. No, I always tell students to follow your passion and to choose a career that you'll find intellectually stimulating, because you have to do it for the rest of your life. And so we've had graduates of the program going to law school, library science, archival studies, public administration, environmental policy, museum studies, curatorial work, and if you're crazy like me, going on to academia. We also have a wonderful student society, student historical society, where they have field trips and potlucks and movie nights and trivia nights. And if you want any more information, I got brochures, and I got a course outline from the first year course.
Wow. Impressive. Next, we have the people that you see walking around with lab coats, dirt on their hands, and a constant smile on their faces. From Environmental Science, Dr. Don Roger Parkinson.
Hi. Thank you for taking some time out of this busy shopping day. I know you'd rather be there, but I'm just going to talk a little bit about science. We offer a 4-year degree program here. You can do it as honors or as a general. It takes the same amount of time. And we have 2 different streams that we call. One is in biology and the other is in chemistry. So we're approaching it at the look at the environmental science as a science base. This is good for you because it allows you to take a degree that has strong science, and you can either, like I say, do it as in biology or chemistry. And if you decide you don't like it halfway through, you can go through a standard biology or chemistry degree. You can get into biochemistry. But if you want to persist with that, then we develop into a very, very applied science, such as ecology in terms of biology. We do a lot of field trips. We use the Bombay Marine Institute and Bay Area. We do water sampling. On the chemistry side, we do a lot of lab work, and this is the fellow was referring to, because I usually wear a lab coat. But we get to play with terrorist bombs and explosions and stuff like that. I was going to bring in a stink bomb, but I figured no, I couldn't bring any props in. So you're lucky. But yeah, so our program is very, very good. We've been established since 1998. Our profs do a lot of research, and therefore they employ a lot of students. So you can maybe get a part-time job, and Grenfell offers a lot of opportunities for you to explore your talents in science. Thank you.
When I came to Grenfell campus, I thought psychology was the study of understanding people. My wife will tell you I understand nothing and nobody. So representing psychology, Ashley Don Bryan and Brianna Mullins. 2 minutes.
All right, hello everyone, I'm Brianna, and I'm actually from Corner Brook. I'm in the psych program going through Bachelor of Arts stream. So my major is psychology and my minor is in French. And I'm actually working on my honors thesis as well. You can do an honors or you can do an independent project with psych. And just gonna introduce yourself.
I'm Ashley Don. I am a BSc student doing honors in psychology. So BSc, don't have to do a minor. Get to do all the fun stuff that everybody else was talking about in biology and chemistry, but you also get to do psychology on top of it.
So some of the cool courses that you can take include sexual behavior. So that can range from gender identity to date rape to sexual positions, oral anal sex. And also there's a course called cognitive psychology that I really, really like. You can learn about something that's called synesthesia. So people have the ability, some people anyway, have the ability to hear sound or taste different foods when they see different words and stuff like that. Those are some of the courses that I really enjoyed.
And you also get to do courses like drugs and behavior. So you want to know what happens inside your brain and to your behavior when somebody's smoking weed, snorting coke, drinking, all that fun stuff. You can take courses in that. You also get to look at the biology. So what's actually happening in the brain when that kind of stuff's happening. It's really interesting and it becomes really applicable for future degrees. Or if you just want to get out in the work world, it helps you think very abstractly. So some of the stuff that you could do.
I'm actually going into education when I'm done this degree. So when I came from high school, I originally thought I was going to do chemistry, but I was introduced to psychology, so that really influenced my change. And with education, you have to get a degree before you go in to education, so that's why I chose psych. But you can also get a med school degree after psych, law, occupational therapy. What else is there?
Grad school.
John's actually going to grad school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And going to study cognitive neuroscience. Brains.
Good job. Thanks, Ross. Next we have, representing the wonderful world of numbers, pie charts, and algorithms, Dr. Rebecca Miller from Computational Mathematics.
So computational math is one of the newest programs at Grenfell. What is computational mathematics? It's using mathematical theory and computer programming to solve an amazing range of problems. Things like how to model and predict the spread of a forest fire, or some other real-world situation like, a zombie attack. The math that you've learned in high school is just one small part of a huge, varied subject that applies to everything from card tricks to rocket ships. I specialize in combinatorial game theory, so that's games of perfect information, no chance, no luck, games like chess and checkers and tic-tac-toe. So did you know, for example, that tic-tac-toe, if both players are playing optimally, it should always end in a tie? These are the kinds of things you can apply math to. Math is not just numbers. For example, I studied math in university for 10 years. I hardly saw a sine or a cosine anywhere. But don't diss trigonometry. Trigonometry can be interesting too if you really look at it. Math is logic and reasoning, patterns and problem solving. Those are skills that are critical for almost any career that you might want to go in. If you're interested in applying to med school or law school or education, a math degree gives you a competitive edge. It makes you stand out. It tells admissions officers and employers that you're a rational, analytic, creative thinker and solver. If you're looking at economics, finance, accounting, a degree in computational mathematics will give you training in statistics and optimization. If you're interested in computer programming, computer science, engineering, you can take courses in computer programming, algorithms and complexity, technical writing. Our degree can prepare you for lots of different things. If you liked math in high school, I think you'll love math in university. If you don't like math in high school, you might really still love math in university. As I said, it's what you see in high school.
Great job. Next, we have an individual who can probably shed some light on how Donald Trump became president of the United States. Dr. Angela Robinson, Social Cultural Studies.
I have to talk about Trump.
2 minutes.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Our program is building on the same kinds of skill sets that you've heard about already. Not so much computational mathematics, but usually when you come to university, you come for a reason. You want to expand on your skill sets in order to go out there and get a job and get a good one. I have a prop up here. Her name is Leah Riley. She's a student from our program. So once I finish speaking, and once you're around today, maybe you can ask her about the program a little bit. We have a wide range of subjects that we cover, but the interdisciplinary program that is social culture studies is made from anthropology, folklore, and sociology. That's alphabetical order. No, area of importance put forward. And it's interdisciplinary. You can focus on any one of those areas. Folklore, for example, is good for people who want to go into education because it's an area of specialization for students. Many of our students do go on to education. Others have gone into quite a different, various areas. Policy institutes, for example, with fisheries, healthcare studies, all of these different kinds of areas that you may be interested in the future. Some of the skill sets that you take away is critical thinking, and we really do focus on that a great deal, how to really disassemble things and reassemble things. It's, I think, very favorable in the future when you have to really think on your feet in your jobs. That's one thing. You can ask Leah about that. She'll tell you. It may be abstract in a certain way, We do talk about theory quite a bit, but you do, as I said, have these practical skills coming out there. You learn how to write really well. You learn how to, more importantly, you learn how to think really well. What else do I have to say here? Nothing, obviously. Oops.
And Mel, there you go. Our next individual did not make the Grenfell campus basketball team, but he's one of the best stickleback evolutionary fish biologists around, Dr. Bob Scott. With sustainable resource management.
Okay.
He did try out though.
You've heard a lot of nice things about nice programs, but really the Sustainable Resource Management program is the most important program on this campus. Especially for you guys, and let me tell you why. Because your parents and your grandparents, people my age, and have screwed this planet up. Okay? They've eaten all the fish, they've cut down all the trees, they've poisoned the water, they've poisoned the air, all while burning all the coal and gas and oil that is in our planet. So you're adopting a problem. What we do in the Sustainable Resource Management program is teach you a number of issues that are related. We teach you about biological and ecological issues, environmental issues. We teach you about social science issues, politics, and so on, and management. How to take this information about how we're using resources and the problems that we're creating by using those resources and doing it better so that you guys have some clean water to drink in the future and maybe some food to eat in the future and that your children will have some clean air to breathe and so on. That's why we're the most important, and that's why you should come to our programs.
He knows fish, I know basketball. Next we have Dr. Bernard Wills about the complex and wonderful world of humanities.
Some of you may have seen Star Trek. Lots of Star Trek plots involve time travel, but I have very bad news for you. Time travel is impossible, because if it were possible, we would have met the time travelers by now. Think about that. It's an irrefutable argument. However, I have good news for you. Even though you cannot literally travel in time, you can do so in your imagination and intellect and mind. And the humanities program is a bit like what you heard about environmental science, one of our interdisciplinary programs in which we not only study things like philosophy or English literature or religion or other aspects of culture, but we study them in an integrated way, right? And we study them throughout time, right? So in humanities, you might read Plato or read a Greek tragedy or read an ancient Egyptian myth, but you also might, listen to hip hop. Right? Lots of hip hop. And as an example, just let me point to this course here. In this winter, for instance, we'll be offering Humanities 3102, Queering the Western World, right? A study of queer or gay experience in European culture. And obviously that kind of study, pursuing that kind of question, will involve you in thinking about philosophers, artists, politicians, painters, and so on, right? Now, how am I going to make a living so I can spend my evenings thinking about Marx and Greek tragedy and so on? Well, our humanities graduates have a very good track record in finding employment in journalism, in law, in government, in diplomacy, foreign service, NGOs, academia, and so on. You won't starve.
There you go. Thank you. Next, representing a program which I think is absolutely beautiful and one of the bee's knees programs of Grenfell campus is Ingrid Percy with the Visual Arts program.
Thank you. Do you want to be able to draw like this? This is a first-year student, Megan Cody. All right. Do you love to draw? Are you passionate about painting and printmaking? Then the visual arts program is for you. The BA program at Grenfell is a 4-year Bachelor of Fine Arts degree program. It's the only visual arts program, the only visual arts degree in our province. We have an entire building dedicated to the School of Fine Arts that we share with the theater program. We have excellent facilities, including 4 large studios for drawing, painting, and interdisciplinary practices. We have a print shop equipped with a litho room, screen printing, intaglio, etching, and a dark room. We have photo facilities that include a traditional dark room as well as a digital lab with large format color printers and cameras that we lend to students. Our Mac lab has Apple computers that can be used for print media, video, sound, animation, and code. We have a beautiful sculpture studio that you can do stone carving, bronze casting, clay, welding. We have 3 kilns, a wood shop, and we have an outdoor area for sculpture as well. We have a Grenfell campus art gallery that shows local, regional, and international exhibitions and events. Our studio faculty members are practicing contemporary artists with expertise in a range of areas from installation, performance, painting, drawing, sculpture, new media, textiles, huge range. We have art history, visual culture profs who are dynamic and engaging. We have amazing technicians, amazing, who can help you realize all of your projects. We also have a campus in Harlow, England, as you know, and we offer an intensive art history study experience there every 2 years. Thank you.
When I was in grade 7, I said to myself, I'm going to become an engineer. And I built a bridge out of popsicle sticks. It held the weight of a ping pong ball. Useless. Dr. Teletsnatchgard is going to come up and tell us there's more to engineering than just building bridges out of popsicle sticks.
Good morning again, everyone, and welcome again to Grenfell campus. Well, I don't have 2 minutes, not enough to talk about engineering, but I'll just give you some facts. Well, our school offers 6 majors in engineering. So you have civil engineering, electrical engineering, computer engineering, mechanical engineering, process engineering, and ocean and naval architecture engineering. Our program is a co-op program. It's a 5-year program. So by the end of the program, you have the opportunity of having at least 2 years of practical engineering program, which actually places our students to be very competitive in the job market. And our program is among the best, the very best in the country. To give you some facts, our school was the first school in Canada to introduce the process engineering as a major, and we're the only school in North America to offer the ocean and naval architectural engineering at the undergraduate level, and the only school in the world to offer it following a co-op educational program. The first year of the program, which is known as Engineering 1, is being offered here at Grenfell. And in Engineering 1, we take not only engineering courses, but also take courses in mathematics, physics, chemistry, and English. Now, this being said, why should you start your first year here at Grenfell? Well, Grenfell offers a unique environment. Because of our very small class sizes, you get to interact very closely with your instructors. We know you by name. We practice an open door policy. You get to meet us whatever you want. And this actually reflects on the performance of our students. So if you have decided to do engineering, that's a great choice. But make it smart and make it cool. Start at Grenfell.
Thank you, Tellis. Last but not least, we have these wonderful people who always greet me with care and compassionate demeanor when I show up after falling off my mountain bike. Becky Newton from the nursing school.
So why would you want to be a nurse? It's hard work, you work long hours, there's some really gross stuff you got to deal with, you don't get the prestige of being a doctor. But when you talk to nurses, they say it's the challenge, it's the reward, it's the fact that you can go straight from high school into a 4-year professional program and come out with people clamoring to get you to work for them. it's also the variety of stuff that you can do. When I first went to nursing school, I had really no idea of the scope. You think of your hospital nurses, you can work in the ICU with people that are acutely sick, you can help deliver babies, you can work with people who've just had hip surgery or knee replacements. You can also work in public health. You can do teaching with kids in schools. You can immunize babies. You can develop programs for the elderly on healthy living. You can work up north. You can work on an oil rig. You can volunteer in Haiti. You can work for the government. You can be a flight nurse. There's so many different options. And again, the thing that nurses and nursing students always come back to is the fact that every day you have the ability to have a direct effect on people and their families, and it's just so rewarding. Now, why would you come to Grenfell? Again, it has a lot to do with how small we are. Our nursing school is nationally recognized, and even though we're small, but because we're small, you have this family of students and profs, and we care about you as students, and we know you by name. We recognize when you're not in class and wonder where you are and if you're okay. We have that open door policy, and the students always say that it's a family, and you get to know your peers really, really well. You do your 4-year program, a mix between here at Grenfell, and right now we're still over attached to the hospital, so you're really close for all your clinical experiences. You get clinical experience fairly early, and that's it.
Good. Excellent, that was great. So as you can tell, we actually have a lot of diversity here at Grenfell campus. Being a small campus, I graduated here. I graduated with 8 people. Absolutely loved it. Extremely hands-on environment, excellent, extremely diverse programming. But you don't want to hear from us old geezers. You want to hear from people that are currently students at Grenfell campus. So we actually have a small student panel, and I'll invite those students to come down. And they're just going to give a quick chat about who they are, where they're from, and a little bit about their Grenfell campus experience. And if we have a bit of time at the end, we'll open it up for questions, and then we'll get you on your campus tour.
Okay, well, I'll start. I'm Olivia. I'm a 3rd-year environmental studies student. I'm from Halifax, Nova Scotia. And actually, Peter recruited me a few years ago, so that's why I'm here. As well as the fact that the environmental studies program and this campus is amazing. Some of the things I'm involved with on campus, I'm a member of the Divest Mind Group and the Environmental Affairs Committee. I'm also the speaker of the Women's Caucus this year. I work at the library, I work at student recruitment, and I'm also a peer tutor at the Learning Center. And I'm actually also just got accepted to Grenfell's exchange program, and I'm going to Tasmania, Australia next semester. So there's always opportunities for that.
My name is Grace. I'm from London, Ontario. I ended up here because of a very convincing recruiter came all the way to Ontario and talked to my high school. I'd never even been to Newfoundland before I moved here. So I'm very happy that I did. I've had a fantastic 3 years thus far. I did a year of the English program before switching into stagecraft. So I'm currently in my 2nd year of stagecraft, which is like the backstage side of theater for anyone who doesn't know what that is. While I've been here, I'm currently an RA, so I kind of look over a floor of students living here in residence. I also worked at the library before. I work sometimes for student recruitment. There's tons of on-campus opportunities that I would say is probably one of the best things about living and working here. You can work on campus, you can get to know the school really well, and yeah, I think it's a fantastic place to go to school.
My name is Robin Redlin. I'm currently in my 4th year doing a math degree, and like Dr. Miller was saying earlier, I left high school saying I was never ever going to look at math again, and that backfired. I actually love it. Like there's calculus, there's graph theory, there's linear algebra, there's writing courses, and you actually learn how to code on computers. It's actually very interesting, and I'm actually a member of the Math Society, so if you join it, it's excellent. Lots of fun, lots of activities. I'm from a small town called Cormac, so I commute back and forth. It's a challenge, but if you're looking at trying to find something different to do, and math is the way to go, because there's different ways of looking at stuff, and it's very, very interesting.
And I'm Leah. I was the prop for Angela. I'm doing social cultural studies, and she promoted it very well. It's actually really fun. You have all these interdisciplinary ideas, and you actually become a critical thinker. I'm with Open Grenfell, which is another thing, is another initiative to make, like, we probe topics and we try to like talk about things that people try to hide. Like, for example, we had a panel about trigger warnings and microaggressions in the classroom and talking how we shouldn't have those. And we talked about accessibility on campus a couple weeks ago. And we had in the coffee house about food insecurity of students. So we kind of look at these issues that kind of go under the radar and open them up. And yeah, like as they said, like on campus is very good for activities and employment. And yeah, it's a good school.
So my name's Kendra. I'm here from Shinko. Actually, it's a very small town, so if you don't hear of it, that's not even an issue. I'm actually doing a psychology degree, and I'm doing it through the Bachelor of Arts. I didn't even apply to Grenfell until literally like a week before the deadline, and I actually had no plans on coming here. But I came here, fell in love with the psych program, and I had not one issue about it. Don and Brianna gave a little presentation about it and did an amazing job describing it. I'm actually on the JAC.org Summit Committee, and I'm doing the Grenfell Mud Mines. And it's actually like really good initiatives that they have going on for mental health, which is the reason why I'm actually staying at Grenfell, because it's such a close-knit family that is in the psych program, that everyone's so supportive and they're all so helpful and completely support everything that they do. And hopefully I'm going to go to social work after, so the psych program is going to be a really good thing for me.
Hi, I'm Mary Jane Butler. I'm a third-year Bachelor Nursing student. As was said before, you do a mixture of classes both here at Grenfell campus and at the hospital. And it's the wonderful mixture of, you get the real-world experience, you're actually on the floor, you're dealing with real patients, and then you also get like the technology side. You're in the classroom learning all the computer side of it, the documentation, research, statistics. Like, it's such a well-rounded program. If you like being challenged and you just need something different every day, then nursing is for you.
Cool. Thank you. And I certainly would like to thank these individuals because, as you know, exams are coming up very, very soon at Grenfell campus. So these folks are extremely, extremely busy prepping for their exams or whatnot. So they certainly took their time to come in and give us a little bit of their perspective of Grenfell campus today. So thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate it. On that note, before we do our campus tour, we do have a few minutes that we can open up the floor for any questions that people might have. You can ask the students something from their perspective. We have a couple of recruiters in the room. We have people that just spoke to you folks about any questions you might have at all about Grenfell campus. By all means, ask away. Anybody? And once they, go ahead, sir.
What's the workload like? Like, how busy are you?
Depending on the program. For me, it's not too bad. Like, we normally have like papers. Exams are kind of rare. In the intro courses, you kind of get exams, but then some upper level courses, they either have like take homes or major big papers, depending on the course.
And I know for theater, both disciplines, but even more so with stagecraft, it's a whole lot of time commitment. Like, we have class every single night of the week from 7 to 11 p.m. and you're expected to be there. You can't miss a class, kind of thing. So the time commitment is quite large for some programs, but like on the side of that, we also don't have exams, so it evens out.
And that's like math. Like, if you're doing math courses, every week there's an assignment due for every single course. But the best thing is you can work with groups. Like, they don't care about that kind of stuff. And we do write papers. But like, when I came into high school, I had to change my studying habits because I was kind of slack. And you kind of got to keep on top of stuff, because once you get behind, it's really, really hard to catch up. But it's really fun, though.
You can go ahead. I was going to say, with any of the programs, as long as you keep on top of your workload, when you get that little magic piece of paper in the beginning, the syllabus, you take that and you put it in your calendar and you keep track of everything. So it doesn't matter if you have 3 exams, 2 days of clinical, and 4 assignments due. It's all right there on your calendar, freaking you out 2 weeks ahead of time. So you just stay on top of it.
That's basically what I was going to say. Like, in high school, I procrastinated so much, and I mean, not gonna lie, I still procrastinate now. Don't do it. You literally regret it in the last 2 weeks of classes so much. Like, right now, probably not a good time, but the midterms aren't bad. Like, as long as you go and like talk to your profs and make sure that you go and like actually
like go to their office if you have any questions. Go to class. Literally, if you don't go, you get so behind. Like, I'm not even exaggerating that. It's gonna benefit you so much more to go. Like, even if you think, oh well, like I can go and do it on my own. No, go to class.
There's
But
also
it's good actually. Like, it's nothing that no one can handle.
I was just gonna say there's also like a ton of resources like at your disposal. The Learning Center I mentioned, I work there, but like they do a lot. You can request like a one-on-one peer support from someone who has previously taken the course. If you're struggling with it, if you have a paper that you want edited and you're not sure what to do, you can take it there and they'll edit it for you and talk with you about it. And they offer sessions, like group sessions for chemistry and math and all sorts of different courses. So there's a lot of different things. And like Kendra said, just talking to your profs is really the best thing to do to stay on top of things.
And never be scared to ask your prof questions. There's literally no stupid questions. If their door's closed, you knock, they'll open it up, they're like family.
I think we might have time for one quick little question. If we gotta get zipping on the tour because we are on a tight timeline. Once again, we're gonna be around all day. Some of the students will be joining us for lunch and so forth. I'll introduce some of the recruitment team that's here. You can ask us. We'll be floating around. Kathy, regular, is right here. And Carolyn Parsons, manager of student recruitment, in the back, and Ms. April Crocker is in the back as well. And myself. We'll be floating around. So if you have any questions throughout the day, while you're your workshops and your sessions, by all means, feel free to ask away.